Shlit, Chaim Gleit, Zichron. Most of us are familiar. There's a song which the kids come home from school with. It starts like Aryeh, so with the king, it's the Jews a terrible thing. I was familiar with the song, and really it's a nice song, yes. But it gives an improper perspective to the Yom Tov of Chanukka, because the story starts not Aryeh. The song starts like as if that there's a bunch of bandits running around the world, and all these bandits go ahead and they starting off with Kollel Yisrael, and the Rebbeinu Shlomo is the hero when he comes to the rescue, and that's basically the story which the song portrays. But Chazal tells us that's not the story, and the evidence is important, and something which we have to be mashash in ourselves and be mashash to our children, that no guy in this world has the shlita on even one hair on any yid's body unless there was some sort of chetz, unless there's some sort of xera against Kollel Yisrael, which comes from our shortcomings. And really, the story of Chanukka doesn't start on Aryeh. The story of Chanukka starts with the fact that Kollel Yisrael was nisrashel min ha'aveda. Kollel Yisrael, they didn't appreciate what is it that the Rebbeinu Shlomo gave them. They didn't appreciate there's a Beis HaMikdash standing. We keep on thinking that halavai we should have a Beis HaMikdash. If the Beis HaMikdash would be here, so then we'd have a mamash gevaldige chashivas for avodas Hashem. But unfortunately, it's not the way it is. What Cheshwav used to say over that, we'd like to think that if we get put a big sign up that, the Chaim is coming to Lakewood, he's going to give a big drasha, it's going to be filled with pale pet. And if the Chaim would be alive, mamash every week would be the same. Says what Cheshwav said that, the Chaim is speaking Ratten every Friday night, Tika Bal Shabbos and Ma'ariv, and Roy the Yeshiva didn't go. He said the same thing every week. Torah, Chizuk, Yerushalayim, Lashon Hara, Roy the Yeshiva. It's not the way it goes. People get used to things. There's a standing Beis HaMikdash. There's Mikdash standing. Kollel Yisrael is nisrashel min ha'aveda. They didn't appreciate what was it that the Rebbeinu Shlomo had given them. And what happens when you don't appreciate Ruchnis? Rachmana litzlan, the Rebbeinu Shlomo takes it away. And Aryeh came and he made xeris against the Aveda. Because Kollel Yisrael didn't appreciate what they had. What did the Chashmonaim do? The Chashmonaim showed appreciation. The Chashmonaim showed what it means, what Avodas Hashem means to them. The Chashmonaim went on Mesiras Nefesh, 12 Chashmonaim against Kama Alofim, and unlike the pictures, Chashmonaim didn't look like a bunch of bandits, they looked like a bunch of yeshivas. Imagine when the Yetzer Dela Torah is going to go and take on the Soviet Union. That's be'erich what the Nes of Chanukka looked like. And they were Mesiba never Shemana Aveda. The Rebbeinu Shlomo accepted their Mesiras Nefesh, and because of their Mesiras Nefesh, the Rebbeinu Shlomo went ahead and he released the Nes of the Muhammad, the Nes of the Shemen, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a yontif of Chanukka l'derei deres, l'hoides u'lahal l'shimcha hagadol, a yontif of appreciation, a yontif where we fix the chetz and we mechazek ourselves in the gewaltige appreciation that we have for the matanos tevus that the Rebbeinu Shlomo gave to us. It's very interesting. In the Nusach Ba'al Nisim, there's two very interesting words that we say that you find only on Chanukka and you don't find other Yom Tovim. First we say, V'achach bo bonechel adver beisecha. Bonechel, your children. The Haggadah doesn't talk about, we don't refer to Kollel Yisrael as bonechel. On Sukkot, we don't refer so much bonechel. But Chanukka it's bo bonechel adver beisecha. And we also say, L'cha asisa shem gadol v'kadosh ba'elamecha. A kiddush shem shemayim. The Rebbeinu Shlomo can't make a kiddush shem shemayim. Only a human being can make a kiddush shem shemayim. The Rebbeinu Shlomo does nisim gluyim. The Rebbeinu Shlomo is a kol yachad. But when a yid rises above the mundane, when a yid recognizes whom the Rebbeinu Shalom is, and what his relationship to the Rebbeinu Shalom is, how much the Rebbeinu Shalom loves him, and how much in return he loves the Rebbeinu Shalom, how he's willing to go ahead and go the extra mile, not be pulled down by the laws of Elam Hazeh, to live above. That's a Kiddush Shem Shemayim. The person goes ahead, returns the Mitzvah, which is very expensive. We call it a Kiddush Hashem. What's the Kiddush Hashem? Because he rose above the mundane, because he rose to a higher calling. A Kiddush Hashem has to be made by a Nivra. You find Taka by Kriyas Yamsuf, Paisa Yehuda L'Kadshay, the first in action by another jumping into the Yam. A Kiddush Shem Shemayim is made by a human being. A Nivra makes a Kiddush Shem Shemayim. And therefore, the Chasis Hashem Gadol V'Kadosh B'Elamecha, through the Nisan of Chanukka, the response the Rebbeinu Shalom gave to the Bo Bonecha L'Dvir Beisecha, the Bonim L'Makay, the same way a child goes the extra mile for his parents, and Chanukka is the yont of a relationship. Chanukka is the yont of a relationship. Halal V'Heidah. It started with the Hisrashlos Me'Avaydah, but when we were Mechazik, we turned to the Rebbeinu Shalom like a child turns to a parent. In such a massive, HaKadosh Baruch Hu turned back the kiflei kiflayim, double, triple, not once but forever. And we end up with the yont of the Chanukka, L'Hidus L'Hal L'Shimcha Agol. The nation of the Menorah, which was really, like Maral explains, was the Rebbeinu Shalom showed everybody, once and for all, that he's the one who runs the world. He's the one who's above Teva. That all the nisim in the world took place only because of the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu Shalom showed that nace by the Menorah, by the semel of Torah Shabal Peh. Torah Shabal Peh, Mesiras Nefesh for Torah Shabal Peh. Torah Shabal Peh, which is difficult to understand, which a person can only be kaina with a gewaldige Mesiras and a gewaldige Hismasrus. That's also a madrega of Bonim L'Makim. When we open up our Gemara, whether it's a man who spends his whole day learning, whether it's a Baal Bas who spends time working, we get together in the night kail, open up our Gemaras to learn the Sugis in Torah Shabal Peh. It's also a Geder of Bonim. The Menorah, in which the Rebbeinu Shalom showed the acceptance of the Mesiras Nefesh, is the semel of Torah. Every morning, Ava Rabba, Avas Eilam, those are the signs that Kadosh Baruch Hu loves us. Our appreciation of who the Rebbeinu Shalom is and his relationship with Klal Yisrael can only be displayed and only be portrayed with our relationship with Torah Shabal Peh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us his precious Torah, and we respond in kind with a Melus B'Torah, and every single day we're mechazik once again our relationship. The Gemara in Shabbos says that the pasuk B'di B'chayr Yisrael was said when Klal Yisrael said Nasa v'Nishma. Nasa v'Nishma, that we're going to go ahead, the total trust in the Rebbeinu Shalom, to go ahead to do even before we're told what to do. Like Rashi says, we go b'tzmimus with the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's that bonim la'makay, which is demonstrated in Kabbalah Satayr. It's that bonim la'makay, which is demonstrated in Amelus B'Torah. It's the Menorah. It's the Menorah, the symbol, the Hashvah of Torah Shabal Peh, which is the culmination of the Chasim of the Rebbeinu Shalom to this Kiddush Shem Shemayim, the Bo Bonechel Vir Beisecha, and the eternal yontif that we have, L'Hoidus L'Hal L'Shimcha Agol. The Torah in Simon Mem Zayin, he asks a Pashta Kasha. We all know, when a person does a mitzvah, he makes only one bracha. Torah, we find that you make two brachas. You make a bracha, Asher Kiddushanim B'Mitzvaysav V'Tzivanu Lasek V'Divrei Torah, and then after we make the bracha, Asher Kiddushanim B'Mitzvaysav V'Tzivanu Lasek V'Divrei Torah, so then we make a bracha, Asher Bocha Bonu Mikol Amim Minos Lamanu Es Teirosai. So the Torah asks, what do we need two brachas for? We already made a Birchas HaMitzvahs. So the Torah says that the bracha Asher Bocha Bonu Mikol Amim Minos Lamanu Es Teirosai, that bracha That bracha is there to remind us of Maimed Har Sinai. By Maimed Har Sinai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu opened up the Rekiim, Ato Harei Tzeladas, the greatest moment of clarity which ever took place in the Bria was the moment of Matan Torah. The Shemayim was open, everything in the whole entire world was clear, total, complete clarity, and Klal Yisrael was massing certain things. What Klal Yisrael recognized in Matan Torah was Asher Bochar Bono Mikol Ha'am, the love, the Avas Olam, the Avarabba, that we're chosen. How precious Klal Yisrael is to the Rebbeinu Shalom. That is the Asher Bochar Bono, that Klal Yisrael looked by Matan Torah. And not only that, the Nasan Lanu as Teirosai. Teirosai has the Torah teaches HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. What does it mean HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah? Kleichem Dasai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's precious Torah. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mishtashei Abai B'chol Yom. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu enjoys and finds pleasure in Torah every single day. You think about it, it's mind-boggling. What a 2-year-old enjoys playing with, a 5-year-old thinks is already babyish. What a 5-year-old enjoys, a 10-year-old thinks is babyish. What an 18-year-old wants to play with, what the 10, 12-year-old playing with, the 18-year-old is babyish. Time it's 18, 20, he wants the keys to the car. Right? It just gets, the sagas just go up and up and up. And then you think about a melech, right? What a melech enjoys. And what a melech enjoys every single day, not just on vacation. Kleichem Dosei Kodesh Baruch Hu's Mishtashei B'chol Yom in Torah. That's what Klal Yisrael learned by Har Sinai. And that's what the Rebbeinu Shalom gave us. The Rebbeinu Shalom taught us by Har Sinai that Kodesh Baruch Hu taught us, first of all, whom we are. Asher Bocha Bonim Mikol Amin. V'Nasam Lanu as Torah Soi Kleichem Dosei. The Rebbeinu Shalom told us how precious Torah is to Him, and therefore by default how precious we are to Him, because He gave us the Torah. That's Maimed Har Sinai. And according to many Rishonim, it's also the Araisa to open up a Gemara and learn until you go ahead and you're mazkir how chashuv we are to the Rebbeinu Shalom, how precious Torah is to the Rebbeinu Shalom, to understand that relationship, the Bo Bonecha, the B'ni B'chayri Yisrael. That's what Torah is, and that's the school of Torah. Nefesh Chaim says that everything good which happens on this planet only happens because of Torah. That the Chai Olam Nota B'Sechenu, the Chai Olam Nefesh Chaim teaches the ability to give life to worlds. The Chai Olam Nota B'Sechenu. We open up a Gemara. We're filling up the Eitzres HaBracha. We're filling up the Eitzres HaBracha in this world. That's the Chashivas of Torah. That's the Chashivas of Torah. That's the specialness of Torah. We always tie in the Shavuos time that there's a minhag Yisrael to bring flowers into the house on Shavuos, to remember the beauty of Har Sinai. Har Sinai is a beautiful mountain. There's no minhag to get the kids to bang pots to remember the thunder and lightning by Har Sinai. But the flowers we have to remember, because the flowers remind us that it's Torah which gives chiyas to this world. In a barren desert, where you turn around the full 360, all you see is sand and sand and sand and sand. But yet, Har Sinai is there, flourishing, with trees, with grass, because with this Torah there's life, and Torah is the Gevaldikas Hashpah, which makes everything grow, which makes everything happen. I saw a video clip a few years ago that the whole parsha with the Giyas in Eretz Yisrael, the army wants Sheila to go to the army, so Balabas came to Brian Leib, and he asked Brian Leib, and he said to him, we need so many in your life, we need so much Torah. In the history of the world, there's never been so much Torah by Kollel. So Brian Leib said to him, in the history of the world, has there ever been so much money by Kollel? Has there ever been such a hashpah of money by Kollel? So the guy thinks, and he says, no. The Ashiras, which we find today by Kollel, has never been so much. So Brian Leib said, a lot of Torah has to be learned to hold out so many Ashiras. It's not Pashut. It's not a Pashut Zach. It's Torah which makes the world go round. But it's not just the Torah. It's the Chashivas of Torah. It's the Torah of the B'nai B'chayim Yisrael. It's the Torah of the Achach Bo B'nechel Avir B'Etzechel. It's the Torah of going the extra mile. And that Torah is what holds our Klal Yisrael. And that's the Torah which gives us, which is the light of the menorah, the eternal light of the menorah, which the menorah is never, ever, ever extinguished. That's the Torah, and that's the Yom Tov of Chanukka, the Chashivas of Torah. So it's a you say Ha'ara, that Torah is so integral to the kingdom of Klal Yisrael. 50% of Klal Yisrael is part of the Talmud Torah. 50% of Klal Yisrael is part of the Talmud Torah. And Nashim Tzidkani is part of the Talmud Torah. So what's Taka the Pshat? What's Taka the Pshat? If Torah makes the world around, so why is 50% of the Klal Yisrael part of the Talmud Torah? So Matzil said, I'm ready to get back. Matzil said like this. He says, taking him out, he sits there for a Seder. He has a hard day. He wants to come. He's tired. He had a rough day. He had a ball boss. Had a hard day in the office. Comes to sit down by his Gemara. He's learning. Right? So before today's Daf Yomi, right? Daf Yomi of Vestas. It's not going. So Mela, Amol, person get a shtickle frustrated with the Gemara. You get a shtickle frustrated with the Tosfos. If a person gets frustrated with his Gemara, gets frustrated with his Tosfos, so the Pshat is it takes away from the Chashivas of Torah. It takes away that relationship with Torah. So the Rebbeinu Shalom took 50% of the Klal Yisrael to be the Machshivei Torah. They never had a hard day with the Tosfos. They never had a rough Chavrusa. They never worked on Sliach in the Chavrusa Tzomel. And therefore, their Chashivas of Torah, is never get shepherd, is unadulterated, total pump, encourage the husbands, encourage the children, and that's the pshat. That we need the notions of Kanyas, the Machshivei Torah, who give up the evenings with the husbands. Stam and Eichel doesn't stop after the kids go to sleep, right? It's not totally that, right? Once all the kids are sleeping, that's when Eichel starts. All right? Right? So I'll call pardon. But that's the Chashivas of Torah. And that was the lesson of Chanukka. Mesiras Nefesh for Torah. The Mesiras Nefesh for Avodah. Appreciation. The Menorah. The symbol of Torah Shabbat Peh. That's the Chasimu, the Rebbeinu Shalom signs his name. And that is what lasts forever. This is what we're saying with Mamash Fast Name Zach. Take out in Kippur Master, check it out. So after the Avodah, so we say that the Achshav by the Mesiba, the Mano Orim V'loi Badim, V'loi Mizbeach, V'loi Karbonis, the whole period of the LPC, the Aleph Beis, the Kir V'loi Kanai, it goes through the entire Aleph Beis. And it says all the Zachen that were missing by the Mesiba around. If you look carefully over there, you'll see. It talks about the Orim, talks about the Shulchan, talks about the Mizbeach Hazov, talks about the Mizbeach Chitzah, talks about Karbonis. It does not say it there. The Menorah is missing from the list. The Menorah is missing from the list because we have the Menorah. That's the Ramban, the beginning of Parashat Ba'alei Yisrael. The our Menorah is the Himshach from the Menorah's HaMikdash. The Hashpah, what's the Mikdash? The Mikdash is Teichei Rotz of Avram B'nei Yerushalayim. The Mikdash is a Yeles Ahuvim. The Kruvim represent the ultimate closeness, the ultimate relationship. The Ava ben Ishtai. That's the Mishkan. And that's the Mishkan. And we have this piece of Mishkan through the Torah Shabbat Peh, through the symbol of the Menorah. We have the Ava Rava. We have the Avas Olam. It's forever, in every generation. The Ava Rava, the Avas Olam. And the Lahidos Ulahala, the relationship, the Ava, which Klal Yisrael learns that on Chanukka, if you do the extra mile, HaKadosh Baruch Hu just benches us with this Gevaldige Siyata D'Shmaya. Forever, it's in the Torah. Forever, it's in the Machshivei Torah. Forever, it's for those who go the extra mile for Torah. You just talk a healthy, Kollel should grow, Mr. Safsal, and we learn Shemar Shem Tzeferes. First day, it's a great Shashkar goes to the Machshivei Torah, and also Tzidkani to make it possible. Talk a little bit of develop the Torah. And then more simchas, Ich bin sicher, du bist gehört zu.
Amen.